Thanks for tuning in, everyone. John here with Feldman PT and Performance. Today I want to help demystify the idea behind ankle stability training. Specifically, that preconceived idea that you have to incorporate soft or unstable surfaces into your training plan or rehab plan following an ankle injury or to maximize your balance in general. Yes, I'm talking about all those fancy inventions that find their way into the gym and fitness floors. You have your balance pads, your dyna discs, you have your BOSU balls, your trampolines. There's no shortage of inventions out there to help people practice balancing on really soft surfaces. And yes, it makes it very difficult. But while that's a logical assumption to think that training on those surfaces may improve your balance, your body's a lot more straightforward than that. It's not that complicated. So let's dive a little bit into the world of proprioception. Proprioception is your body's awareness in space. You have receptors all over your body that tell your brain where you are in space or what position your body is in that moment. We want those receptors to be really fine-tuned and honed. That maximizes the efficiency of that system to tell your brain where you are so your brain can fix whatever you're doing, whether you're running along, changing direction, or whether you're landing from a jump, whether you're going downstairs, or whether you're stepping off a curb. We want that balance and proprioceptive system in your body to be as fine-tuned as possible so that there are no mistakes and that you can decrease your risk of injury, specifically rolling your ankle. You want to talk balance training? Let's talk balance training. This isn't balance training for what most of us want. Yes, this could be a great exercise for balance, but the concept of specificity of training says that we need to replicate the demands of our sport or activity in order to maximize our efficiency in that sport or activity. So unless your sport or activity demands look like this day in and day out, these kind of things are really not going to help you that much. The research has shown that balance training on unstable surfaces actually bypasses that proprioception. We want those receptors to be targeted. We want those peripheral proprioceptors to be honed so they can be as efficient as possible and be as fine-tuned as possible. If this type of training actually bypasses that system, then what's the benefit? I'm not saying there's no benefit. I'm saying that maybe we need to focus on building the foundation first and sprinkle this stuff in later. This is probably the hardest part about my job. It's pushing back against a lot of the things that are commonly held in the fitness and rehab industries. There's this idea that the harder something is or the more challenging it is, the better it has to be for us. That's not always the case. Again, we have to go by the numbers and we have to go by the research. The research shows us that unstable surface training might not be the best approach. Again, you want to have repeat exposure to the actual physical demands your body's going to experience. That's the best way to improve and maximize your proprioception for that activity. If you're playing on a grass court, a clay court, a basketball court, turf, natural grass, if it's slippery, bouncy, gymnastics, tumbling mats, you really need to expose your body to those same demands as much as possible. Change of direction, accelerating and decelerating, repetitive movements, repetitive hops in multiple directions, all right? These are ways that you actually can challenge your body, especially at the level of the ankle, to improve its stability and proprioception in order to minimize your risk of injury. And of course, prior to any plyometric drill or fast acceleration, deceleration, we wanna make sure we have a foundation of strength as well. Usually an injury is accompanied by loss of strength. So before we even reintroduce hopping, jumping, plyometrics, change of direction, we want to make sure that you have a sufficient baseline of strength as well. Ankles respond really, really well to heavy loads. Your ankle is your first and only interface with the ground. So things like heavy deadlifts, heavy squats, heavy step-ups. These exercises done under heavy loads and with tempo are also great ways to reintroduce strength and fine-tune that proprioception at your ankle under a heavy load. When you land from a jump or you sprint and stop really hard and aggressively, the forces through your ankle skyrocket above what you normally experience when just walking. So not only do you have to worry about increasing your strength through basic foundational movement patterns, but then you also want to get right back into the things that you're going to be doing. To sound like a broken record, if you're going to be going side to side, you need to challenge side to side on a flat surface. If you're going to be jumping up and down on a flat surface, you need to jump up and down on a flat surface. If you're going to be sprinting and changing direction on grass or a basketball court, those are the kind of things you need to do. You also want to get back into the type of footwear that you can be wearing. Are you wearing cleats? Are you wearing turfs? Are you wearing tennis shoes? Are you wearing basketball shoes? Are you a gymnast and wearing no shoes? You want to replicate the demands that your body is going to experience in order to maximize that proprioceptive benefit and decrease your risk of injury. I'm not saying I don't want you to enjoy the process. I want you to have fun. I just don't want you to miss the mark. Been doing this a long time, and we understand that our job is to get you back out there the best and safest way possible. Remember the ideas of specificity and proprioception. Specificity means that practice what you're going to be doing later on. Your body's going to be better suited for it. Proprioceptors, they're going to be better fine-tuned if you practice what you're going to be doing later. If you want your proprioceptors to be able to be really well finely tuned on a basketball court or on a grass field or on a turf or on a tennis court or on a gymnastics beam, then those are the things you have to practice because they're only going to get better doing those things. Ditch those fancy setups just because they're fancy and complicated. The level of complexity of the setup does not equate to the same return on investment that you think it does. Keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. That's the message for today. The ankle can be kind of a wild beast, and I want to thank you guys for giving me your time and your ears. If you have any questions, please let us know. In the meantime, happy training.